All right, how we doing, guys? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure my mic is all good before we get going here. All right, cool. Well, thanks for everyone who tuned in for first live stream. Don't know how this is gonna go. We'll kind of figure it out as we go. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about like some of the gear I got for Black Friday and like some of the filmmaking stuff, because I kind of just did a bit of an early Christmas for myself. Ooh, I'm getting some feedback in my headphones. 1 second. There we go. Okay. I was hearing myself with like a huge audio delay talking into my headphones, and it was really throwing me off. But we're good. We're good. So yeah, I got like a bunch of different stuff. Basically like early Christmas for myself on Black Friday, and we're just gonna go through it all, talk about it, ask any questions you want, like, and then we can just like answer any of your videography questions, however you're feeling. Just like throw stuff at me. Basically, this is all the stuff I want to answer in my DMs that I never get around to, and then we'll wrap it up. I'm just gonna start recording on my camera here, just in case I want to use this later. Maybe make a YouTube video if there's any good questions, or post it as a short for other people who aren't able to tune in today. But let's get to it. So this, I'm super excited about this. I don't know if you guys have heard about these small rig batteries, but I hear so many good things being said about these, like just the little display on them. And I was really enticed by this battery because of it. What is it? It will like stop your camera from short circuiting, and or like it won't send the incorrect voltage to like a camera if you're powering it off V-mount. And I know absolutely nothing about that stuff, so it's like really scary for me sometimes to have to power stuff off of V-mount, and then like worries me that I'm gonna like crap out a camera or something. If I can open this. So this, when I saw it, I think it was on sale for like $100 on Black Friday. So it seemed like a really good thing to grab. Let's pop this open here. I'll try to keep things above the waist here so you guys can see them as well. I know that they make this in like a 50 and a 99 version, but this thing's like tiny. I wish I could compare this to the V-mount that I have next to me. Oh, we got a question here. What does it say? I tried shooting an S-Log3 for the first time at a football game the other day, but the footage came out really grainy and I can't seem to get my exposure down. Any tips? Okay. Oh, sorry. By the way, sorry if anyone hears my dog in the background. She may be a little barky as we go through this. So, Chrome Pictures, are you exposing 1.67 stops over? Like if you just look at the bottom of your camera, it says like how you're exposed, and it'll say plus or minus, and it'll give you a number. It should, most of the time when you're shooting an S-Log, say plus 1.67. And that will probably make a difference for you. But let me know, and then we'll keep talking about that. Also, shameless plug, I'm just going to throw these on the screen here because we're live streaming and people do that when they live stream, I think, so why not? But yeah, Chrome Pictures, let me know about that, and I'll keep helping it with that problem. So satisfying to rip the little sticker off of these things. The things, I kind of want to go plug this in right now, and I'm just stuck in this chair. But yeah, I think you can, with this battery, you can deliver power via USB-A or DTAP, and then you can charge it via USB-A or USB-C. It's super light too. I know V-mount batteries aren't like the most exciting thing in the world, but I'm personally very excited about this, mostly because of all the good things I've heard about this stuff, and just because Small Rig has a lot of good products in general. Yeah, I'll have to plug this in and get this charged up. Maybe I'll just plug it in right here. It's usually, when I've noticed that number, it's plus 2.0. Plus 2.0, that's, came out really grainy, and you're overexposed by 2 stops. You're probably overexposed to the point that you're losing detail in your image, honestly. If you're at plus 2.0, I wish I could like see a photo. Do you have any, do you have any work that I can like, what's your Instagram? Let me go check it out. But yeah, if you can show me like a link to your work or something. Maybe I can see if you're like overexposed and what the issue is. We got the small rig 99. It's great. Okay, good. Love to hear it. Now I'm curious if I should have just bought the 99 from the jump. I just wasn't sure about it, and I already have another V mount, so I figured I would start with the 50. But if it's that good, I may need to end up picking up the 99 as well, which I wouldn't complain about, honestly. Oh, we got a bunch of stickers here. Yeah, these are, I kind of like these. So the smaller battery came with these. Let me hold them up to the camera. Kind of fun. I could see myself putting these somewhere. I don't know where yet. I never know where to put stickers. If anyone has ideas of like where do you guys put your stickers? Because when we buy Apple products and you buy some other products, they always come with stickers. And I feel like I always put them in a drawer and say I'm going to use them. And then I just forget about them and don't end up ever putting them anywhere. And I've just like lost probably hundreds of stickers over the years. But these are good, and I'm not losing these ones. Quite a lot bigger, to be fair, and heavier. So if your arm's up to it. Yeah, I think my arm's up to it. Like, I'm talking about like the size of camera rigs and stuff. Like, these batteries aren't that big. We'll see though. Stickers in the bin, really? You gotta throw your stickers out? Ugh, what is this? I was thinking maybe I was gonna put some of my stickers on like the Husky back there. I just don't know if I want like a brand sticker in a video, you know what I mean? Like if it says small rig on it, even if it says really little, I don't know if I want that in the back of all my videos. But I like the idea of putting them on the Husky. Anyways, let's unbox the least exciting thing that you'll see all day today. Literally just bought 3-foot XLR cables, and it'll make sense why. I should have unboxed the actual audio interface that I bought before unboxing the XLR cables, or else these just don't make any sense at all. But it's all good. So yeah, the most boring purchase you can make. These aren't like pro XLR cables. It's just like random ones off of Amazon. But like, you need these. I feel like you can't have enough of these. I have a whole drawer of XLR cables, and I still just keep buying them over and over again because I feel like there's always a new purpose, or like a new reason why I need an XLR cable kicking around. It says high quality microphone cable on it. We'll see if that is the case with these like dinky Amazon cables. What interface did you buy? We can get to that now. It's the Focusrite Voxcaster 2. I'm not big on audio interfaces. It's something that, along with live streaming, I'm trying to become more well versed in. Kind of like, you know, never stop learning. But yeah, let's open it up right now. So Focusrite Voxcaster 2 is the name of it. And it's got 2 XLR inputs. You can also input audio from a computer. And this interface in particular is really good for being able to run right into your camera 3.5mm jack with no like input delay or anything. All right, let's get rid of this. Yeah, so this is it. This is the Voxcaster. It was $200, I believe. Podcast interface for content creators. It says, but yeah, I think some of the things were like, Focusrite was my arch nemesis back in the day. I worked for Audion for 3 years. I've got no brand affiliation in this space at all. But hey man, whatever works is what I'm game for. Maybe we have to check out some Audion products as well. But no, I think you can connect your phone to this via Bluetooth as well, and like incorporate that audio into your stream. And I like that I can run 2 XLR cables, my computer audio, possibly a phone, all into this, and then right into my camera, and then have all that audio on one track and not need to sync it up later, and balance it with physical dials and switches in front of me. So I'm probably gonna start doing YouTube videos like that if I'm like doing a podcast, and I'm intending on getting some guests on the channel fairly soon. Probably if I can keep these live streams up, start streaming like that as well. I think that'd be fun. What do we have here? Just some documents, whatever. Wait, there's some cables in here. Yeah, like special cables. I should probably keep these. I feel like I have a million USB-A to USB-C cables, but I feel like every time I'm given a cable in a box, that cable is like a special like high speed cable that I need to keep with that device for it to work properly. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a nightmare. Oh, quick question from J Rage Media. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, all right, let's pull this guy out. Interfaces these days are great no matter what brand you have. It was definitely more of a difference back in the day. Well, I love to hear that because it seemed like there were a lot of options and I wasn't just going to like try to figure out what I was going to do forever. How do I get more cinematic shots? That is an open-ended question. What to look for in lenses. Yeah, good lighting for sure. That like I don't know if you film like a lot of the stuff that I film, as you guys probably know, I don't always have control of the lighting. I more so have control of where I position myself in relation to the lighting, like if I'm filming football and stuff. So more just like in general understanding lighting is important because if whether you're on a set and you're crafting the light or if you're in the field and positioning yourself relative to your subject and the light, just understanding like the look you're going for and how you want to kind of get that look. Like if you want to silhouette someone, obviously you want to put them so they're in front of the light source, and if you want someone to be like lit really well, you kind of want the light source behind your back. So just like little things like that. And then like as far as lenses, like actually what's considered quote unquote cinematic is honestly just like compression and shallow depth of field. A lot of the time, as silly as it sounds, you just like you look on Instagram, everything that people are calling cinematic is either like well composed stuff using like the rule of thirds or and like basic stuff like that, or it's just like shallow depth of field shots with a lot of compression, and if you can work some camera movement in there like with a gimbal or something, even better. Or by Helios 44.2 and FX3. That's great. God, the Helios is so... It's overdone, but it is cool. It is cool. You just can't use it for everything. All right, let's do another question. What do we have? Oh, competitive vibes. I edited on Final Cut Pro to watch a video about all the different editing platforms. I want to ask, gets it just being a bit, is Final Cut Pro still a good video editing software for sports edits? There's nothing wrong with Final Cut. Like, Final Cut's cool. It's just not the industry standard editing platform for anything. So if you're going to be collaborating with people, then I think you're better to not use Final Cut and probably better to use Premiere or DaVinci if you're color grading, or Avid depending on where you're working and like what type of content you're producing, and create your content that way if you're working with people. If you're an independent content creator though, and like if you're an independent content creator and you're working in the Apple ecosystem, then it doesn't matter about collaborating and you just want to use what you're familiar with and what's going to work the fastest. And the editor that's going to give you the best results and work the fastest for Apple devices is definitely Final Cut Pro, because it's an Apple software running on Apple hardware. So if that's the case you're in and you're comfortable with Final Cut Pro, then definitely use it. But if you get a job with like the NFL, no one's editing on Final Cut Pro and you may need to learn something else. Okay, so yeah, you're on Mac and you're a solo editor. Okay, that makes sense then. I don't see anything wrong with using Final Cut Pro in that case, especially because you can just pay for it once and then you're done, versus your recurring Adobe subscription at like $40 or $80 a month or whatever it is, which is honestly kind of brutal. And PT 4K Studio, your question, what's just starting out, what editing software should I learn? That's kind of, I guess I kind of answered your question, but please follow up if you think that's that you want more detail on that. Final Cut Pro is quick. It's a one-time purchase, but if I need something more professional, thank you. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. Happy to help. Always happy to help. Did I miss any questions up here? Not sure if I missed anything in the chat. Michael Ryo, Peter inspired me to hit my record. I'm a local bike racing promoter. My goal for 24 is to start collaborating with the creative we hire. Cool, I love that. Yeah, being more collaborative with the creative people you hire to just like give them more access, and you can get better results, and you guys can like get on the same page about what you're going for. That's great. I love that. What's your resolve in Premiere workflow? Color grade in DaVinci and edit in Premiere? Like, I'll color grade in DaVinci if it's a project that I think is worth it. If it's like really quick turnaround social content, I'm definitely just color grading in Premiere. What I'll often do a lot of the time as well, if I'm working with multiple cameras and they've all been calibrated the exact same, like same settings, same picture profile, same white balance, everything, is I'll take one clip into Resolve and like color grade it, make a LUT, export the LUT from Resolve that has like 90 to 95% of my color grade done, and then apply the LUT in Premiere and make tiny tweaks to it as needed in Premiere. And I'll color grade and resolve the same way I showed in the recent video that I did, which I was about to point up here and be like, watch that video up here. Like, no, it's not up there. But yeah, if you haven't seen my resolve color grading video, I'll color grade like exactly in that way and then export a LUT and then use it in Premiere. Or like, if that makes sense. There's very few times where I actually like use export an XML and re-import into Resolve and then color grade everything there and then bring it all back. It's a bit of too much of a workflow for me. Jack, what do you do for your job now? You have to use Premiere Pro every day. Because I know you worked for Audion for a few years, you said. Is stadium lighting better for professional teams compared to high schools? Wondering because I film high school football in the UK, night games are always a struggle. Yeah, professional lighting is definitely a lot better. I've been there with the high school stuff, and it can be rough sometimes. Have you got any tips for filming at night or in low light? Legitimately, this is going to sound so silly. And like obviously, like getting a lens with a fast aperture, like an f2.8 or something, or like an f1.8 if you can, is obviously going to help in low light. But the hack for low light is honestly just use an FX3. Just set your eye, like, I know it's not what you want to hear. It's just like throw money. Like, I'm essentially throwing money at the problem, which is not the best solution for everybody. But like filming with an FX3 in low light is just like next level. 12,800 ISO, set it and forget it, film whatever frame rate you want, throw an ND filter on that thing and dial in your exposure. But if you need to film in low light and you don't have $5,000 to drop, like first thing first, drop your frame rate. Like don't film in low light in 120 frames per second, film in 60 and drop your frame rate and drop your shutter angle to 180 degrees, but drop your shutter speed on most cameras that we're going to be using to 1/125 and film in 60 frames per second, just because like the slower shutter speed is going to give you more light in your image. Even if you have to film in 30 frames per second or 24 frames per second and sacrifice the slow motion to get a good exposure on your image and drop your shutter to like 1/50, like just do it. It's better to just get a good looking exposed image without any slow motion than to possibly like ruin your image to capture 120 frames per second. I work for a marketing agency, works for the Guide Dogs charity in the UK and make all their videos. Cool, man. That's awesome. What's this? What's your opinion about shooting and filming at indoor concerts under artificial light with the A9 III? Base ISO 2500 S-Log III. A bit big downside, or is it beneficial of global shutter key here? The base ISO 2500 S-Log III. I don't actually know. I didn't look much into the A9 III release. I can't really speak much to it. Like, I don't know what the base ISOs on the A9 III are. I wouldn't worry, but like, with regards, I can comment on the artificial light bit. So with regards to the artificial light, like one of the only times in like photo video space where I think that it absolutely doesn't matter what your skin tone's like is concert photography or videography, because everyone knows that at concerts the lights are all over the place. There's flashing lights like everywhere, and like 1 second everything will be blue and the next second everything will be red. So if someone's skin tones are way off in a concert video, like it can almost be assumed that it's the lighting. So if there's artificial lighting and it's making your skin tones and everything look all janky, like I wouldn't worry about it. Just color grade it so it looks like visually appealing and is creative and you like it, and don't really worry about the rest of it as long as you're getting a proper exposure on your image. And yeah, if you're worried about low light, like really badly worried about low light, I just wouldn't film in S-Log3. Just pick a more saturated picture profile like HLG3 or something that's going to perform a little bit better, and you won't need to like push it as much. Especially considering S-Log, you have to overexpose. If you're already underexposed, S-Log is just going to be terrible for you. Thinking about buying a LUT pack, then I was wondering if I should learn how to color grade. It'll be a time saver, but learning will also be worth it too. Yeah, learn how to color grade. I appreciate everyone who supports me with my LUTs and stuff. And if you like know how to color grade and you just want to easily get the look that I get on my stuff, like that's how you do it. But also don't buy LUTs and then just not learn to color grade. Like learn how to color grade from basics. Honestly, just watch my Resolve color grading tutorial and like follow that procedure, but on your own clips and do it in your own way, like from scratch. Yeah, learning how to color grade is definitely essential. For sure. Like you need to know how to color grade. A lot of organizations nowadays want someone who can take a project from start to finish. So you definitely want to know how to do that. When is a good time to start charging for your work, especially when asking for credentials? Whenever someone will pay you, honestly. If you make good enough work and someone's willing to give you money for that, like go right on ahead and charge the money. I don't think there's ever a bad time to start. That said, if you're like a beginner and you want to just get access to things and build a portfolio up, then you can start for free and just get access and not worry about money if you're in a financial position to be able to do that. But yeah, there's no bad time to start charging. The best time to start charging is yesterday. Go make your money. What else do we have here? Oh, the sports goat. Thank you. Much appreciated. There are more people in here than I thought. I was expecting like, how many people? There's 30 people in here. I was literally expecting like 4 people to show up to this. This is really nice, guys. I appreciate all you for coming out. That's really cool of you. You guys probably don't see this in my videos, but I'm a fiend drinking water when I'm recording. I'm still doing it. I cut all my water breaks out, but I'm drinking like at least once every couple minutes when I'm recording. Do we still want, I kind of stopped talking about the thing. Do we still want to hear about the Voxcaster 2? Do we not care? We'll see. Maybe I'll get back to that. Did pick up an SD card though for Black Friday. Oh, we got another question. I'm having issues with my, oh, it's Nick Fung. Having issues with my DaVinci Resolve exports looking different than in software. They either look washed out or less saturated. Oh my god, I was having this issue. Man, I had to research how to fix that issue in Resolve for like 30 or 45 minutes. And it was like a bunch of different settings I had to change to actually like get it right. And I don't specifically, without being in Resolve, remember every single thing I did. So I'm going to have to like probably look into that and give you a more concise answer. But I found when I was in Resolve, exporting with like as like an MOV file or as an like using H.264 preset or a QuickTime preset was always giving me mistakes. But when I exported with a DNX HR file, like basically like the Windows QuickTime, I guess, I don't know. When I exported DNX HR out of Resolve, I found the colors to be more accurate. So at least start there. My friend says he knows you in real life and said he saw you dunk a basketball in a regulation size NBA hoop. What's your vertical? I definitely have never dunked a basketball. There's no chance I've ever dunked a basketball. That is just wrong. My vertical nowadays, man, when I was in high school, my vertical is probably like 30 inches, maybe like 31, 32 max. I was able to like touch the rim. And now I bet you my vertical is no more than 20 inches. Like no chance my vertical is more than 20 inches. Maybe even less. What's your vertical? Do I have a video on camera settings for an A7 III? I film indoor track meets. Do I have a video on camera settings for the A7 III? God, I might. I can't remember. Let me check. God, I mean, it's been such a long time since I've been making A7 III videos. I actually remember none of the videos that I made like over a year ago. A7 III video on settings. Did I never make that? I think I never made that. Sports video gear plus settings. This is like, it's a 3-year-old video. If you go back to like the first 10 videos on my channel, I have a video called My Camera Gear for Cinematic Basketball Videography. And I go over the gear that I use and my settings. That was 3 years ago. So I guess that's when the A7 III would have been relevant. It may be too old for you, but yeah, check that one out. That's the best I got for you, I think. Oh yeah, Premiere Pro Gamma LUT. That's crazy. That it's crazy that in like such an expensive software, you still need to add the gamma compensation LUT that nobody tells you about when you get Premiere to all of your exports to make the colors look right. Otherwise, your colors are just going to be bad, and you will not know why. That's unbelievable to me. Would you recommend to buy quality lenses right off the bat as a beginner? Like, I definitely think that you should buy quality lenses before you go buying a really high quality camera. Like, I would, let's say you have like, I don't know, hypothetical scenario. You have $5,000 to spend on a camera and lenses. That's maybe a lot, but it's a round number for me to work out in my head. Then like maybe drop like 1,000, 1,500 on a camera. Maybe get like a used FX30 or something, and then put the rest into like 1 or 2 good lenses, like a Tamron 35 to 150, or like get a solid 50 mil prime if you want to do some like photography or something. Like I would definitely look at like getting like not necessarily like super expensive, but like high quality solid lenses, either primes if you're a photographer or zooms if you're a videographer, before I got like a really expensive camera. Bonfire Sports, not sure if you looked into it, but bought the new DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Oh, that's that new action camera. Let me look that up real quick. Oh, these things. I've always seen these around. They look really interesting to me, but I've never like, I haven't actually used one. I've always been skeptical about these. I feel like they're too small to be like really good quality. It's more so like a GoPro type of thing. Does anyone in the chat know if the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is like, or are those Osmos like in general are like good for at least like vlogging compared to like maybe like a point and shoot camera or what you would normally use for vlogging? Hmm. We'll get back to that when I get some more input on the Osmo, because I don't really know that much about that. Who's taller, you or E from Beyond the Game? I actually don't know that. We haven't. This is gonna sound crazy. Me and E haven't met in real life yet. Like I literally had him shoot the CFL, and I couldn't go to that game, and we haven't met in real life. So we definitely have to meet. But if I had to guess, I'd probably think him. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. That's not based on anything. Dang. Sorry about that, guys. Are we good for audio now? Give a thumbs up if the audio is good. Option Shift M sends to media encoder. Oh, I didn't even know that. Cool. That's actually useful. I'll definitely be using that. All right, I probably missed some questions there. Well, let's see what we got. Best camera for sports videography on the market right now. Do you have a price range? I think that the FX3 or the FX30 are definitely up there. Those are probably the two I would say are like among the best. And then the A7S III is like, for similar reasons to the FX3, really good. The A7 IV is like super solid if you want to mix in some photography as well. Like cheaper than the FX30? Because the FX30, yeah, the FX30 is really good bang for your buck. What's the best like sub $1,000? How much is the ZV-E10? The ZV-E10 is $1,000 Canadian right now. So yeah, I'd say get the ZV-E10, and then you can, as you want to move up, kind of grow in the Sony ecosystem and buy good Sony lenses and use a decent camera for sports videography. That probably I think that makes sense. I would be pretty confident recommending this ZV-E10 if you're looking for like a good camera to film sports for like under $1,000. Okay, if you want the cheapest one that I got that will still be good, then go buy a used A7 III, because I made good stuff with my A7 III, and that was a long time ago, so you can probably get them pretty cheap now in the used market. But yeah, seriously, if you're just looking for like a beginner camera that will get you by filming sports, like the A6000 series, like A6300, A6400, A6500, go get one of those used. You'll get it for sure for under $1,000. It'll help you. Oh. Let me type this out in the chat for you. What do we have here? What lens do you recommend for about E10? I'm assuming that's a ZV-E10. I'm filming basketball training shorts. If you can swing it, I've been loving the Tamron 35 to 150. Like, it is so good. It just like is the perfect focal range. Like 35 is wide enough, even on a crop sensor, that you can still get like decently wide shots if someone's far enough away. And then 150 is just like so tight, especially for basketball. So I would check out that, but that is a bit of a pricey lens. If you're looking for something a little cheaper, yes, APS-C lenses. What is it? Sony is the 18 to 105? Yeah. The Sony 18 to 105 f4 is like a pretty common like crop sensor lenses I'll recommend, because you can get it for like, it's 750 Canadian, and obviously like it's the same deal. 18 to 105 is a really wide focal range for you when you're filming sports, and if you want one lens, that'll work for you. It's just f4, so it's not going to be great in low light, but that's it. What else do we have? Do you see a huge difference between the FX3 and FX30, with FX30 being downsampled from 6K when it comes to cropping? Legitimately, no. Like, sometimes I'll be looking at my footage and I'll forget if it's an FX3 clip or an FX30 clip. And like, this is like filming same settings, like both 4K 60. And the only difference at that point is just the crop sensor and like how far the camera can reach. So if you stay within like the box that the camera provides, I guess, and like stay within its capabilities, so obviously that means not using the FX30 in extreme low light, then you can make them look like the exact same. And I really don't see much of a difference between the two, honestly, apart from the low light capabilities. How do you land a job at the CFL and working with pro leagues in general? Do they approach you? I really just, like, it was more so like I made connections with people through freelancing here and there, but every job that I got, like the CBL job and my current job with the CFL, I honestly just applied like a traditional job application, and I just had a portfolio website and a bunch of work on my website, and kind of had prepared myself in that niche to be successful. And then I just got into an interview because my portfolio spoke for itself. And then when you're in the interview, it's just about being personable and getting along with people and like showing that you'd be a nice person to work with. And if you're a good person to work with and your work like speaks for itself, then you're kind of set. What's your favorite wide lens? I know you use the 20mm 1.8. Any others? The 20mm 1.8 is for sure my favorite wide lens. It's actually the only wide lens that I really own. Like, I have wider zooms like the Tamron 28 to 75. Like 28 is wide, but I don't have a 16 to 35 lens, and I don't think I need one. The 20mm 1.8 is just like so sharp. It's such a cool look. It's such a small lens. I don't think I'd want to use anything else. And for the price that you pay for it, like obviously it can't be the only lens in your kit, but if you want like a really good wide lens for like $1,000, that 20mm 1.8 is money. I love running it, especially on a gimbal. All right, Jack, great chatting with you, man. Appreciate you stopping in. What's the best f-stop for football night games? Honestly, just as low as you can get it when you're trying to expose at night. If you can get down to like f2.8, that's awesome. If you can only get to f4, that's cool too. I film a lot of football at night with the 7200 f4, the macro version nowadays, on the FX30, and I find it's like just good enough for me to film good stuff in 4K 60. Do we have any more questions here? Or should I keep going with gear for like 15 minutes? Let's see here. I don't know. I feel like a question I get often enough is the SD cards that I use. So let's talk about that, because I just picked up another one on Black Friday. So this is the SD card that I get. If you want to get an SD card and you want it to be mine, SanDisk Extreme Pro UHS2, the V90 version, that's 300 megabits a second. I just picked up an FX3, like not the FX3 that I currently use, which is a work FX3, but I picked up an FX3 personally, and I needed another SD card for it, so we got one. What's a good gimbal for starting it with a bigger rig, like FX3 monitor, and either 7200 or Tamron 2875? Mounting a 7200 on a gimbal is like definitely doable, but hard. I would get like the Ronin S, like the big version, like the Ronin S3 or like something. I use the original Ronin S, and I've seen people mount DSLRs with 7200 on that before using counterweights, but it's a bit of a tough go. Tamron 28 to 75, you can just get like a regular Ronin S, and you're fine with that. I'm honestly not a huge gimbal guy though. I just picked up a tiny little gimbal, and I like keeping my gimbals really small. as well. So if you're asking like how to mount a giant rig on a gimbal, like I'm not super well versed. I'd have to do a little bit of research for that one. I just watched your freeze clone trail effect tutorial. How do you manage to remember complex editing techniques without forgetting steps? Honestly, I feel like when you get to a certain point, you're not like remembering how to do every single step of an editing technique. You're just remembering the fundamentals and the basics and how things work, and then piecing it together every time. And if it's an effect you use often enough, then it'll just be something that like you develop muscle memory for. But sometimes I will literally forget how I did an effect. Like I'll just miss a step and I'll have to rewatch my own video to remember how I did something that one time. And like I still go on YouTube and watch tutorials for just like, oh, where's this one specific button? How do you do this one specific thing every once in a while, just to like remember it. Because honestly, there's a lot of stuff you can do with these programs and it's impossible to just like remember all of them. Why not the 256 gigabyte? I honestly just don't need it. Like I'd rather have 2 cards that I can use for redundant recording, or record proxies onto one of them, or have 2 cards at 128 gigabytes and put one in each camera, rather than having one 256 gigabyte card that like I'm just not going to fill up. There's no way I'm filming more than 128 gigs in one football game. And then after the game, I'm going to back up my footage to 2 or 3 places, and then I can format the card. So I just don't think I need 256 gigs. It's just a bit much for me. But I definitely see the need for it for some people. I know Jordan Spielberg. No, I don't think so. Have you ever worked with Juan Morales? Yeah, me and Juan work together not fairly often nowadays, but yeah, we've worked together before, and we definitely are in touch pretty often. Like I like Juan. He's great. If you haven't checked out Juan's channel, I'd recommend doing that. He posts when he can. He's probably busier than me, honestly, especially nowadays with the NHL season going. But yeah, Juan's great. I got the export colors right. Yes, we got DaVinci Resolve export colors right. Love that. How do I get to play on my iPhone? Google Drive, I guess. Yeah, if you're filming music videos and you can fill up a 256 gig, then like for sure, like get the size you need. I love you long time. Hey, you too, Brian. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping in the chat. Are there any members in the chat who want to comment my face? No? Maybe. Hope I'm asking this question correctly. As a beginner, in what order of priority would you learn each skill set of videography? Capturing footage, editing, color grading, etc. I personally learned editing first. I knew how to edit, like, but not like now, but like basic edits in Premiere before I even owned a camera. So I think learning editing is great because you just like learn some fundamentals about cameras before you have one, and you can like do it. Like the barrier to access is really low. You can get DaVinci Resolve for free and start learning how to edit just on the computer that you have, or you can even start editing on an iPad or something, like whatever you have, versus like having to go capture footage. You have to go buy a camera and buy a lens, and then you have to learn all of this stuff about how the camera works before you can even like go do it. And that's a lot for some people to just get started with. So yeah, I'd learn how to edit, then I'd get a camera and learn how to like film stuff, or at least that's how I did it. And then color grading and all that comes after. ZV-E1 or FX30 for non-commercial personal work? That depends on your budgets. No problems there, whichever one you want, honestly. Oh, you know what I didn't show you guys at all that I probably should have is the new microphone that I'm going to start using for a lot of these videos. So I picked up the Shure MV7X which is like similar-ish to the SM7B, which is like the podcast microphone that everyone uses. You probably see it in like every podcast clip ever. People have SM7Bs. But no, I picked this one up. It was only a couple $100. I actually, for part of my day job, record a podcast, and we use a similar microphone to this. We use the MV7, not the MV7X, but very similar. And it sounds pretty good, and it's pretty affordable. So I figured I'm just gonna like plop it here. That way I can pull this shotgun mic off every once in a while, and like bring it out into the field, and still have a microphone that's like set up right here and dedicated for specifically YouTube and live streaming and things of that nature. And this is the one I went with. Alina, one more question. I'm having a really difficult time motion tracking for shorts. Currently editing with CapCut. It looks super choppy, not smooth at all. I don't know much about motion tracking in CapCut, honestly. I do have some motion tracking tutorials on this channel for like stabilized motion, if that's what you're trying to do. If you just search my name and stabilize motion in the YouTube search bar, they'll come up, and I can walk you through how to do it in After Effects. But CapCut, I'm not super sure. Send you a DM earlier. I was asking if you can make a more in-depth video about audio and your process for that. I have one video that's like about audio. Let me pull it up. I'm going to send this in the chat to you guys. Bit of an oldie, but all right. So what software is best for motion tracking? Just keeping everything in frame. If you're just keeping everything in frame, you're fine to just go into Premiere and like keyframe, and just like add position keyframes. Just keep everything into frame, and yeah, RJ said it. Okay, cool. And yeah, if you want to like do like stabilized motion, like After Effects, but if you're just trying to use position keyframes like Final Cut, Premiere, Resolve, they all do it. Yeah, geez, Brian, I've come a long way since we met at that wedding in 2016 or 2017. Funny story for the chat. Baker FX, so Brian in the chat, is the first connection I ever made with anyone in the video industry, and I met him at my first ever paid job a very long time ago. And I shot that with a Canon T3i and a kit lens, and it was rough. Is this really live or is this AI? No, this is AI. Alina, you may want to ease your keyframes. So if you're in Premiere, take all your position keyframes, highlight them all, right click, and then click on ease out and ease in. And they'll move from one keyframe to the next a bit more smooth. That'll probably help you out. I have a Sony a6500. I'm trying to run 4K 24 at 50 shutter speed. It looks dark for some reason. Can you please help me? So if you want more light into your image and you're at 4K 24 and it's dark, you want to either turn your ISO up or open up your aperture more. So a lower f-stop, and that should help. Yeah, God, we were babies. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. No, this video is not sponsored by Shure. Their logo is just sitting here. Ugh. What is this? Welcome to Better Sound. Sure. Ironically, the name of the company. Andy, you've been trying to use DaVinci Resolve, but I can't figure out how to get smooth slow-mo because even though I filmed at 60 FPS, it isn't showing up on the timeline. Do you know what's going on? Is your composition set to 60 FPS? Because if you just drag your footage into a new composition in any timeline, it may just set your composition's frame rate to the frame rate of your footage. So if your composition frame rate is set to 60 and your footage isn't 60, then you can't slow it down. I would go to your sequence or your composition settings, whatever you want to call it, and just change it to be 23.976 or 24 frames per second. And then you'll be able to slow your 60 frame per second footage down to 40%, and it won't be giving you issues, hopefully. Will ISO make my footage look grainy? Yes, if you bring it high enough. But if your ISO, what camera do you have? The 6500? If you keep your ISO at like 3200 or lower, you'll be fine. Ish. Yeah, and in theory, higher ISO makes more grainy footage. In theory. I can't get this out of the box. I need to like focus all my energy on this for a second to get this thing out, or I'm not gonna be able to do it. I actually can't do this. Alright, this is this is waiting. I actually can't get this out of the box. After color in DaVinci, do I still apply gamma compensation when I export in Premiere? Yes. Also in the A6700, looking into getting the Sony A7 III or 4 buds. Sony A6700. This camera release kind of just brushed over me. I don't was the A6700 the one that was just like an FX30 and a DSLR body? I think it was. And in that case, if the A6700 was basically the one that was just an FX30 and a DSLR body, then I'm going to say just get the FX30 instead. Because that FX30 would be going crazy overheating without those fans. And I can't even imagine what the A6700 is going to do, but I haven't used the camera personally, so I don't actually really know. Looking at getting the Sony A7 III, the A7 IV, they're both great cameras. If you have the money for it, I'd get the A7 IV. Just because like the colors are so much better. You can actually properly shoot S-Log without the footage breaking on you. But the A7 III is great as well. I would just use the HLG picture profile. Yeah, both amazing cameras though. Full frame is really, really nice. Where's the chat? I just lost the chat. Oh, there we go. We're good. Make a video on your workflow in Premiere and DaVinci. Yeah, I could do that, but it's not much of a workflow, honestly. And there's already some stuff out there. Do I enjoy football or basketball more? Oh, that's so tough. That's so tough. Oh, I'm going to kill the recording because my camera's about to die. There we go. Do I enjoy football or basketball more, like filming wise? I would probably say that I enjoy. I think I enjoy football more now, just because like I really like the like how dynamic it is. Like I'm always going up and down the field and getting so many different angles. I'm always moving and like thinking on my toes, and I really enjoy that like mental aspect of it. Football is much more physically demanding. Like I feel it after a football game, and basketball you just like pick your spots, which is really nice. So like pros and cons to both. I would love to film more basketball. I definitely don't film enough basketball nowadays. I only filmed a few basketball games this year, and I've obviously filmed like tons and tons of football. But yeah, I think football is a little more fun to film now, but that may just be because I'm doing a lot of it. Still love basketball. It's a great sport to film. I'd be happy to do either of those any day. And watching, I definitely prefer basketball. It's just like football, they only score so many times a game, and basketball feels like you're just scoring like over and over and over. And it's just like more up and down, so it's more entertaining for me to watch. Have I filmed any combat sports? I have a shoot next week for Muay Thai. Currently playing some B-roll shots. Let me know if you have any tips. I've never filmed combat sports. Oh, excuse me, guys. I would love to film combat sports. I think that'd be so fun. So while we have 29 people in the chat here, if anyone has any combat sports filming opportunities in Toronto, let me know. That'd be a lot of fun. But no, I've never filmed that. So I unfortunately don't think that I can give you any practical tips on that one. Have I tried getting into shoot the Raptors or anything? I haven't shot the Raptors. I would love to shoot the Raptors. I should probably reach out to someone about shooting the Raptors. No, but that's definitely on the bucket list. I would very, very much like to film the Raptors someday and just film the NBA in general. So, we're working up towards it slowly but surely. There's only one NBA team in Canada, so bit of a slow process, but we'll get there. Where are we? We're at 7:59, been going for about an hour. I was planning on doing this from 7 to 8. So let me see if I can actually get this microphone out of the box. If there's any other questions, I'll wrap it up. And would I be down to react to viewer videos on my stream sometime or in the future? Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely planning on doing some reacting to your videos on the stream. It's become evident today that for me just trying to get my Premiere timeline on the screen, that I need a second monitor attached from live streaming to just put OBS and all that stuff on, and then have your videos on this monitor. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a sports videographer react on stream where you can just come on, send me your links, we'll watch them together, talk about them in real time, and then I'll probably cut that down for YouTube as well. Combat sports, get your focus mode and settings right because you'll be behind the ropes. Yeah, facts. That's true. Peter, Grey Cup content looks super clean. What are your thoughts on the event overall, and what are you shooting on? Oh, I thought the Grey Cup was great, man. It was such a good event. It was put on so well. I had so much fun with it. The Grey Cup's, for everyone who doesn't know, the Grey Cup is the Canadian Football League Championship. So it's the biggest football game in Canada. Yeah, it was it was so well done. The stadium was packed. The game was super close. I couldn't have asked for a better Grey Cup. So I thought the event was fantastic. And I was shooting on, for game action, mostly the FX30. For pre-game, post-game, the FX3 with the Tamron 35 to 150. And then I used the gimbal cam, which was my A7 IV with the 20mm 1.8 for a little bit of stuff here and there. If you ever come to London, I run an MMA gym and work for Cage Warrior. So if you want to stop by, come in for a show, let me know. Oh, that'd be sweet. When you say London, do you mean London, UK or London, Ontario? But either way, down. That sounds fun. What ND filters do you recommend for budget and pro? I don't recommend any budget ND filters, honestly. Yeah, there's the K&D concept one from Amazon, which I have, and it's all right. But I think for that type of stuff, you're better off to just buy a good one, even though I understand that that's a super expensive ask. London, UK. Okay. Well, if I'm in London, UK, I will definitely make the connection. Yeah, for ND filters, I think that you're better off to just buy a good quality one. I also understand that not everyone has that money. The K&F concept one is pretty good. I use the Tiffin variable ND, and that's pretty solid. And I'm actually currently editing a video on the Freewell K2 magnetic filter system, which has a few, a 1 to 5 stop variable ND in it. A 6 to 9 stop variable ND, a polarizer filter, and then a polarizer ND32. And the quality on those is pretty sweet. I'm going to talk more about it in a video that's coming out in a week or two. But that's pretty solid as well. What are your thoughts on the K Fitz getting fired from the NFL thing? Oh, I saw that clip. That went really viral. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on that. I'm torn on that. But yeah, no, the clip was yeah, that's crazy how much traction that clip picked up. It was I saw him Sports Illustrated and everything, and Tyreek Hill commented on it. That was nuts. Fantastic 15. Gotta go cook tacos. Talk soon. All right, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you stopping in. You use S-Log conversion LUT before applying your own color LUT. No, my LUTs, I just put them straight onto S-Log 3. And they are good to go, and just tweak your white balance and tweak your exposure if need be, and that's all. Oh, nice. Got a little adapter mount with this microphone. All right, so we've answered a bunch of questions, guys. I'm pretty sure I've unboxed everything here. And well, one more question. All right, have you had your hands on with an FX6? I've had the opportunity, and I just haven't yet. I honestly need to. It'd be really good to do, but the thing that's drawn me back about the FX6 all the time is like, the FX6 can't film 4K 120 frames per second with audio. And for most people, like, that just doesn't matter. But specifically for sports, I think that matters a lot. So for me to use an FX6, which can't do that for me, versus an FX3, which has a crazy dual base ISO and can do that and is cheaper, it just, for what I do, doesn't make sense for me to use an FX6. So if an FX6 Mark II comes out, like, eventually, I'll definitely be getting my hands on one. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the FX3. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. If there are no more questions, I appreciate everyone who stopped in. This was super fun. Like, great first live stream. Hopefully for you as well. It definitely was a good one for me. So I'm going to be doing these live streams on the first Friday of every month. So the next one will be, I believe it's January 5th, but whatever the first Friday in January is, I'll be live streaming on that day at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it'll be a pretty similar format. I may get it set up so that we can do some reactions to your videos live. But either way, we'll still do some Q&A then. And that's going to be all for today. Appreciate you all for coming. And yeah, peace out.